Have you seen the latest alerts surrounding Can Yaman? Because this is not just another fan rumor. Something much more serious has started spreading. Warnings about fake accounts, fake messages, and people allegedly trying to use Can Yaman's name for money. And just when fans were trying to understand that situation, another major update started making noise online. Kaplan's filming appears to be over. So what is really happening here? Is this a scam warning fans should take seriously? And does this mean Kaplan's story is ending? Or is this simply the end of filming? In this video, we're breaking down both developments step by step. So make sure you subscribe for more updates on Can Yaman. And if you want to support the channel even more, don't forget to hit the join button below. Now let's get into it. Let's start with the most urgent part first, the fake alert. Over the last hours, more and more fans have been sharing the same kind of warning. Be careful. Watch out. Don't trust random profiles. Don't send money. And honestly, this is exactly the kind of story that can get very dangerous very quickly, because when a celebrity has a huge fan base, scammers know there is emotional trust there. They know some people want to feel close to that celebrity. They know fans might believe they are talking to someone real. And that is where things can go wrong. The main message spreading right now is very simple. Can Yaman is not privately contacting fans asking for money, and fans should be extremely cautious with any account, message, or person pretending otherwise. That alone already tells you how serious the situation is. Because when these warnings start getting repeated again and again, it usually means the problem has become visible enough that people feel the need to protect others before more damage is done. And this is where fans need to slow down and think. Scams like this usually do not begin with an obvious request. They begin with attention, message, reply, fake connection. Maybe someone claims to be from a team. Maybe someone says there is a private club, a special access opportunity, a VIP membership, or some exclusive fan experience. Maybe they try to make the fan feel chosen, special, in. And once that emotional connection is created, then comes the money request. Sometimes it is framed as a fee, sometimes as a donation, sometimes as support, sometimes as a private event. But the pattern is always similar. They build trust first, then they ask for something. And that is why this fake alert matters so much. Because the danger is not only that someone loses money. The bigger issue is that people can be manipulated emotionally by using the identity of someone they admire. That is what makes these scams so ugly. They are not just financial tricks. They exploit loyalty, excitement, and fandom. So for anyone following Can Yaman, the safest mindset right now is this. If something feels too personal, too exclusive, too sudden, or too good to be true, it probably is. If an account is asking for money, promising private access, offering special benefits, or claiming to represent Can in a suspicious way, fans should step back immediately. Because the strongest signal coming from this whole situation is that fake identities are clearly part of the conversation right now. And to be honest, this also shows something else. Can Yaman's name still carries major power. Scammers do not build fake stories around irrelevant people. They attach themselves to names that attract attention, trust, and emotional reaction. In a strange way, even this ugly situation proves how strong his recognition remains. But of course, that strength also creates responsibility for fans to be careful. Now once that fake alert started making noise, another topic quickly caught people's attention. Kaplan. Fans started seeing posts and reactions suggesting that Kaplan was finished. And naturally that created confusion. Because when people read a phrase like that online, they often jump to the biggest possible interpretation. Is the character over? Is the project over? Is something cancelled? Is there bad news behind the scenes? But from the way this update appears to be circulating, the smarter reading is much simpler. This looks like the end of filming, not the end of the project itself. And that is a huge difference. When fans hear it's over, emotions kick in immediately. But in production terms, finished often just means the filming phase has wrapped. Cameras stop rolling, the cast finishes the shoot, and then the next phase begins. Editing, post-production, marketing preparation, release planning, and everything else that comes after the set work is done. So if the current reading is correct, what we are actually looking at is not a death sentence for Kaplan. We are looking at a transition. And honestly, that makes this update exciting, not depressing. Because if filming is ending or has ended, that means the project is moving forward. Means the material has been captured. It means the hard physical part of the process is done. And for fans, that usually means the next stage becomes the waiting game. When will we see first looks, stronger teasers, official promotional material, release timing, and more concrete announcements? That is why I think the phrase, "Kaplan is over," can be misleading if people repeat it without context. A better way to say it would be, Kaplan's filming appears to be wrapped, and now the project enters its next phase. That sounds very different because it is very different. And let's be real, in fandom spaces, wording changes everything. One dramatic sentence can create panic. One vague post can make people think there is a cancellation, a crisis, or a conflict. But when you step back and look at it calmly, this feels much more like a filming wrap update than a negative industry shock. In fact, this can even become part of the excitement. Because once filming ends, fans start imagining what comes next. How will John look in the finished version? How strong will Kaplan be as a character once the final cut is ready? How much of the action, emotion, and mystery will be amplified through editing and music? And maybe most importantly, how will audiences react when the full project is finally released? That is why these two stories together create such an interesting contrast. On one side you have a warning. Be careful, protect yourself, don't fall for fake accounts using Can Yaman's name. On the other side you have a forward-moving production update. Kaplan's filming appears to be done, and that likely means the project is entering the next important stage. One story is about danger around the image of a star. The other is about progress in the work of that star. And maybe that is the real reason fans are reacting so strongly right now. Because both developments hit at the same time. One creates concern. The other creates curiosity. One tells fans to be cautious. The other gives fans something to look forward to. So where do we land after looking at both? First, the fake alert should absolutely be taken seriously. Fans should be skeptical of any suspicious outreach, especially anything involving money, access, or private promises. It is always better to be careful than to regret trusting the wrong profile later. Second, the Kaplan update should not be read as everything is over in a negative sense. The smarter interpretation is that filming has likely reached the finish line, and that moves the project into a new chapter. And for viewers waiting to see what comes next, that is actually a very important milestone. So yes, this has been one of those moments where the fandom is hit with two completely different energies at once, caution and anticipation. But if you separate the noise from the meaning, the picture becomes much clearer. Be careful with fake accounts. Stay alert with anything suspicious. And at the same time, keep your eyes open because if Kaplan has indeed wrapped filming, we may be getting closer to the next big reveal than people realize. What do you think about all of this? Is the fake alert story the more shocking update? Or are you more focused on the fact that Kaplan's filming seems to be over? Either way, this is definitely a moment fans should pay attention to. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more Can Yaman updates. And if you want to support the channel even more, don't forget to join through the join button below. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.